the big brother global state, in which there will be a world government, world central bank, world army imposing the will of the world government, world currency, and a microchip population linked to a global computer.
That's the Department of Ministry.
That's the cenotaph, yeah. If you stand there and read out the dead names of dead soldiers in Iraq, you get arrested under the Serious Organised Crime and Police Act in this free country.
I've been filming David for 8 years, since we've been together in my own little cameras. I've got hours and hours and hours of footage. But now it's becoming more professional. Before, I felt like I was just following David around and I wasn't really doing anything, although I was, but it wasn't enough. And now I've found my canvas.
I can't sum up better what would change the world and bring this imposition to an end. That song by Donovan in the 60s, it just went like this. He's 5'2" and he's 6'4". He fights with missiles and with spears. He's all of 31 and he's only 17. He's been a soldier for 1,000 years. He's the one who must decide who's to live and who's to die, and he never sees the writing on the wall. He's the universal soldier, and he really is to blame. His orders come from far away no more. They come from here and there, and you and me, and brothers and sisters, can't you see? This is not the way to put the end to war. I remember coming here on the Great Central Railway when I was a kid from Leicester, and we walked up with my dad and my mother up there and looked across at Downing Street, right? Now you can't get anywhere near the bloody place, ironically, because of terrorist events that have been orchestrated by the very people that control the guy that's being protected, so we can't go up there and see his house. Crazy world. Okay, we're going to go see an extraordinary man who's been in Parliament Square since June 2nd, 2001, protesting against the slaughter of children. And, you know, the commitment that he's shown is just unbelievable. So we'll go and see him. I brought that bucket last mate. How you doing? There you go. I signed it for you.
78 for life, 78 for life. See how they run, see how they run. They come to us in the dead of night, give us all a terrible fright, deprive us of our human rights. 78 for life. When are we going to stop killing our kids then? Our kids.
Well, we're going to stop killing our kids when people get off their asses and toss us like the guy who's just come past here and shouting, "When did you last have a job?" or words to that effect. Realise that the police state is not for people like you and people like me. It's for every bugger. I mean, you know, we get.
Unclean! Lepers of the world! USA! UK! Unclean!
Why are you asking me if I have permission to film in a public place that my taxation pays for?
David, it's all right.
No. Hold a second. Do you know something? There was a time when I thought I lived in a free country. Your children are going to have to live in the state you are policing into existence. And when it's too late, you'll go, "Oh my God, what were you doing, Daddy and Mummy, when the police state came into power?" I was enforcing it, darling.
Calm down, please. We've come over here. We're doing our job.
Please, don't tell me what to do.
You're not here to film us, are you? You're here to do whatever you're doing.
Yeah, that one. If it's covered with CCTV cameras, what's the problem? Everyone's being watched, aren't they? I don't get. I'm not going to speak. No, I'm not going to speak to you because obviously you've got a opinion on it about it. So I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to get into it. It's a simple question. No, it's not an argument. It's a simple question. If CCTV cameras are everywhere, filming everyone here, what's the point of you coming down and saying what you're doing? You can see us, can't you? There's no answer in it.
Really?
I've said what there is. Got no answer in it. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. But that presses my button. It really does. Because, you know, this is supposed to be a free country, supposedly. And you come, you get a camera out in an open public space, which our taxation has paid for. And they come up and start, what are you doing? What are you doing? If that was in Nazi Germany or China, it would be on the news, and the people in there will be going, see, that's confirmation. Police state. Human rights. No human rights in China and all these other places. No human rights in Nazi Germany. And then they do the same, but because it's on the cover of freedom and democracy, it's all different. It's exactly the bloody same. It's not even a creeping Orwellian state now. It is a galloping one, and really it's in the small things that you find how deeply into our daily, even in detail, into our daily lives this stuff has gone. Got to ask permission for this, got to ask permission for that, mustn't do that, all the time. I won't have it. Honestly, people only just deep breath, take a step back, look at it again. The Orwellian state ain't coming, it's here. It's just a question of how deeply we go into it.
I can't speak too loudly because this is a very species that doesn't like people making too much noise. This is known as the Nessus-spotted repeater. This is a very common sight where truth is being annihilated.
Have you ever heard that phrase, everyone knows that, mate? Well, why does everyone know that? Well, it's because this system is controlled by what I call repeaters. They're people in the situations of power and influence who just repeat what someone else tells them. A doctor is repeating what they were told at medical school and what the drug companies tell them. You've got teachers who repeat what they learned in their exams and what they learned at teacher training college, and they repeat that to the next generation. And the great repeaters are what pass for journalists. This is the area outside Parliament where they stand there doing their pieces to camera, telling people what's going on. Here we have the crews waiting for the journalists to come across from Westminster and stand there and tell them what's happening in the world. The fact is, they don't know what's happening. They know nothing. So, this is what they should be saying if they were telling the truth. Now over to Westminster for the latest news from David Icke. Thank you, you. Well, I've got to be honest, mate. I haven't got a clue what's going on. I tell you what my job is, right? I wear a dark suit, not normally, but, you know, I'm playing here. And I'm come over from there, and I tell you what they've told me is going on. And I deliver it as if I know what's going on, and it's really true. I haven't got a clue if it's true. But they tell me, and they wouldn't lie, would they? I mean, would Tony Blair lie about what's really happening? Would George Bush, please? I'm a journalist, trust me. And so, what we call news, what you get paid a lot of money for reading Autocue about, is merely propaganda that they have told me and I tell you. David Icke, BBC, ITN, CNN, CBS, Sky News, Westminster.
When I started researching the nature of this Orwellian manipulation, it became clear that there are a network of interbreeding bloodlines. What I call it, and what they call themselves, the Illuminati, which comes from the illuminated ones, have come through history. And as people began to reject overt, in-your-face dictatorship, they became the people who ran the system. You can look